There's a class nobody talks about. It's not the poor, it's not the rich, it's the almost. You see them smiling on Instagram, drinking coffee at brunch, driving cars they lease but don't own. They have job titles that sound impressive, clothes that look expensive, and smiles that hide anxiety. They live in houses they're 25 years away from actually owning. They're busy, always so busy, but never really moving. This class is called the Almost Free. And that, my friend, is the most strategic form of modern slavery ever created. This isn't about conspiracy theories. It's about conditioning. They condition you to work 40 hours a week, sometimes 60, just for weekends you can barely enjoy because you're too tired to live. To study for years, rack up debt, and then beg for a job that asks if you have any experience. To spend your most energetic years building someone else's vision while convincing yourself that safety is the same thing as success. But let's be clear, stability is not the goal. Freedom is. And most people are stable in their cage. You were convinced to chase a dream that was called realistic and safe. Go to school, get a good job, put money into a retirement account, buy insurance for everything, even for your worries. But what they didn't tell you is that even with a good job, you're still one flat tire away from a financial crisis, one recession away from eviction, one layoff away from depression. They handed you a plan, but not a purpose. You became so focused on making a living that you forgot to design a life. Let me tell you about someone a lot of us can relate to. His name is Darren. Darren wakes up every day at 6:30 a.m., makes his coffee, and stares in the bathroom mirror longer than he ever admits not fixing his hair, but fixing his face. Because by 8 a.m., he has to wear a version of himself that's professional, non-threatening, efficient. He works in a mid-level position at his company. The guy that gets emails at 10 p.m. in guilt if he doesn't answer them by 10:15. He's been promoted 3 times. They gave him a plaque and a pizza party. He's got stock options, but he can't use it until he's 60. Darren lives in a 3-bedroom house in a 1-bedroom mindset. He's not lazy. He's exhausted. He's not stupid. He's never had the permission to think creatively. He's not stuck because of a lack of effort. He's stuck because of a lack of strategy. And here's the painful truth. No one tells him. Darren's life wasn't designed for him. It was designed around him, to keep him in motion, to keep him productive, to keep him from ever asking, who actually benefits from me staying here? He trades hours for dollars. And when he wants to take a week off, he has to ask for permission to rest his own body. That's not freedom. That's a polished prison. Do you know what separates those who generate wealth from those who barely get by? It's not talent. It's not hard work. It's not even intelligence. It's perspective. The wealthy don't work harder. They work differently. They aren't obsessed with income. They're obsessed with assets. They don't just earn money. They build structures that earn it for them. Because here's what they know. Money is a slave or a master. You choose which one. Let's talk about Alicia. A single mom working 2 jobs and attending night classes. She's everyone's definition of a hero, dependable, relentless, self-sacrificing. But guess what? Being tired doesn't make you wealthy. Being busy doesn't make you progressive. Being dependable doesn't build a dynasty. Alicia doesn't need a 3rd job, she needs a new lens. Here's her mistake. She keeps thinking the path to freedom is more work when in truth it's more value. She keeps investing time when she should be investing skills. She keeps chasing overtime instead of chasing ownership. Working harder inside a flawed system doesn't liberate you. It buries you deeper. Here's what most people don't understand about poverty. Poverty isn't simply about lacking dollars. It's about lacking leverage. And leverage comes from ownership. Own your time. Own your output. Own your decisions. Own the value you create, not the task they assign. Own something, or be owned by everything. The system isn't broken. It's brilliant, just not in your favor. It pays you just enough not to leave. It distracts you just enough not to question. It entertains you just enough to keep you sedated. We binge shows more than we binge self-worth. We scroll for stimulation instead of searching for strategy. We memorize someone else's lyrics rather than writing our own life song. But here's the danger in all of this. You can get really good at being unfree. Well-dressed, well-paid, well-spoken, still underneath someone else's ceiling. Ask yourself, who gave you your definition of success? Who taught you what was realistic? Who told you to settle just in case? Let me guess, people who were settled themselves. Not bad people, just scared people. Fear loves company, and it especially loves company that never questions the menu. They told you to be practical, but what's so practical about dying with unused potential? You are never broke when you have a mind that works. You are never stuck when you have the power of choice. Even if those choices are small, at first you change directions one step at a time. Working for someone else is not evil, but blindly following someone else's path is. You were born with a gift, not just to exist, but to elevate, not to survive, but to stretch the boundaries of what's possible for your family, your future, and your legacy. It's time to stop asking broken people for directions to freedom. Time to stop thinking the system is your savior when it's your ceiling. Time to redefine wealth not as a stack of cash, but as the power to choose. The real chains aren't on your wrist, they're in your mind. And like that circus elephant, you've had the strength to break them for years. The only question left is, are you ready to stop pulling gently and start roaring loudly? Because you are not your circumstances. You are not your paycheck. You are not what you've been told. You are a force that's been silent for too long. It's time to awaken, rewrite, rebuild, and reclaim the life you were always meant to live. Your freedom begins the moment you realize you were never meant to be owned. Now go create, go build, go become. The world doesn't need more workers. It needs more warriors of purpose. It needs you.